Pittsburgh Pirates. Welcome upstairs, everybody. Glad, as always, that you're along with us with my partner, Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, Clint Hurdle used to say after tough losses, you got to shower well. Hopefully, the Rockies last night showered well, Huey. Tough loss.
It really was. You had so many opportunities yesterday to win it, and then it was snatched from you at the end. Those do linger, folks. If you're sitting at home going, man, I still feel it today. The players still felt it, and you really feel it until you walk in the locker room today. And then after that, it's all business about what's in front of you.
Yeah, you're conditioned, as you would know, 10+ years in the big leagues to wipe it off and move on. But that is a tough one to wipe away. But we're going to wipe it away. We're going to move on. Couple roster moves to tell you about to begin our evening. Good news, Nick Hundley is back with the club. He comes off the 7-day concussion list. He's in the starting lineup tonight. Jordan Lyles, who quite frankly has really struggled. He struggled again yesterday, 3 out of his 4 starts. He was sent to Albuquerque. Scott Oberg, who we know from last year, has been called back to the big leagues.
Well, you needed Scott after what happened in the bullpen yesterday, so you needed another arm out there because Jake McGee is probably down for today. But for Jordan Lyles, this even goes back to spring training. He wasn't pitching well during spring training, so maybe if he had been, he would have bought himself a little bit more time. This is all to get him right moving forward, because right now he had the one good game in Cincinnati. After that, the other 3 weren't real good.
And he's struggling with his command. Chad Bettis has been outstanding all season. He's a guy that has limited the opposition. In fact, in his last outing, he gave up a couple home runs in 1 inning. The other 5 innings, he was perfect. 1, 2, 3 innings. Chad Bettis wants to be really, really good, and he's on his way.
Well, and the guy that is good in that way is a guy who pitches after a loss, and Chad Bettis 4-1 with a 2.36 ERA. How about that whip, just 1.13? And you need that stabilizing force. After a loss, you need that guy to feel like, hey, it's okay, fellas, hop on my back, everything will be good. It doesn't matter if it's a Coors Field or if it's out on the road. You feel comfortable when he's out there saying, I'm with you. Because you talk about that start in Cincinnati where it was 6 innings. Yeah, he gave up the back-to-back home runs, but he still came out of there and had his 3rd quality start. And that's what I look for Chad, is that bulldog mentality.
He's got the bulldog mentality. He works very quickly. The guys like playing behind him. So Chad Bettis has the baseball today. Rockies look to pick up where they left off yesterday offensively. The Pirates are swinging it well. Also, Colorado, Pittsburgh, come on back to Coors Field with us. Pleasant evening in Lodo, and we're set for baseball. First pitch of the ball game, just off the outside corner. Ball one. John Jaso leading things off for the Pirates. Chad Bettis has faced the Pirates 3 times, all at Coors Field. And he tried a curveball there, and he missed 2-0. Rockies employ the shift against Jaso, who's done a really nice job at the top of this Pittsburgh lineup. 22 hits in the leadoff spot from a wide open stance, and he hits a ground ball that's going to sneak through the left side. He's now got 23 hits and an on-base percentage close to 400 in that leadoff spot. Well, this Pirate offense has been really good in that they're among the league leaders in batting average and on-base percentage. In fact, right at the top of the class. Every guy in their starting lineup is hitting 300, save Jeff Locke, the pitcher. Here's the Southwest batting order for Clint Hurdle. Matt Joyce is hitting over 300. David Freese is former St. Louis Cardinals. Starling Marte always kills the Rockies here. Francisco Cervelli, the former Yankee. Look at that, all over 300. Polanco, Harrison, Mercer.
I did a double take when I was filling in my lineup. I said, that can't be right. I've not seen this late in a season, and I say late, we're 3 weeks into it, but
still,
yeah, where they're hitting 300.
On the inside corner, a strike on Matt Joyce. The interesting thing about the Pirates, they're scoring runs. They played a long game. They played the 2 longest games in baseball yesterday. Involved the Rockies here and the Pirates down in Phoenix. They went 13 innings.
They gave up a couple runs in the 9th to Arizona. They tied it up. They had the lead again in the 12th. They gave it back to them in the 12th. They finally won it in the 13th.
They won 12-10 and 13 in a wild affair. They're scoring a lot of runs. They just don't hit home runs. They have only 11 home runs as you look at Chad Bettis's numbers more closely.
2-0. I like the whip at 1.07. Batting average against not on there, but it's 213. This is really the leader now of this Rocky staff.
Good pitch at 92 and on the hands. 1-2. Chad Bettis. Let's take a look at the arsenal.
Well, both a 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball. The 2-seam is when he wants to get those ground balls. The 4-seam he'll elevate for the strikeout. Slider, one of the hardest throwing sliders in the league at 86.6 miles an hour. Change up and then the occasional curveball.
Slider count here on Joyce. He goes fastball and it's fouled off. Well, he does throw one of the hardest sliders in baseball. Top 6 or 7. We saw the hardest one behind us. We were watching Noah Syndergaard tonight. He was throwing 93-mile-an-hour sliders.
And to go along with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
I mean, he sits on 100.
He does. And for Chad at 86.6, that's nothing to sneeze at.
1-2. There it is, and he gets a strikeout. 1 out. Something else about the slider, Huey. Last year, he threw it about 9% of the time. He's throwing it, as you saw in the graphic, 21% of the time.
And right out of the hand on the Subaru Supermo. Had more of the downward action. Sometimes he'll get off to the side and you'll get that more. Other times it'll be more of a flat down late breaker.
So 1 in the book, and that'll bring up David Freese. And he takes a strike. David Freese, 324 career average at Coors Field. He was 3 for 5 with 2 walks in that 13-inning affair yesterday.
Those 3 hits were all 3 of them were doubles. Career high for him.
And that hits the dirt. It'll be a wild pitch, allowing Jaso to move to scoring position. You may have noticed when we showed you the Southwest lineup for Clint Hurdle that Andrew McCutchen was conspicuous by his absence. It's the first game this year that Andrew has not started. He's the last regular for the Pirates to get a day off. He's scuffling a little bit. His average not where you'd expect it to be. He's 3 for his last 23 with 11 strikeouts.
That's in the last 6 games, and this was part of the plan for Clint Hurdle and the Pirates to give Kutch the day off today. Hey, I don't care what he's hitting. It's nice to see him not in the lineup, just from what the damage he can do in the all-star type of player he is.
Well, he's a top 10 player, all-around player in the game. 2 balls and a strike. The Pirates did not hit on the field before the game, which is unusual for the first day in, except when you note that they played forever last night.
They usually like to to get batting practice that first day and see how the ball's traveling, work the infield, is the ball rolling true, all of that. But Clint Hurdle said the rest is more important in getting off our feet after playing 5+ hours yesterday than taking ground balls and hitting.
2-2's fouled off by Freese. Free agent signee. Another one of those guys, Huey, that signed late. He signed on March 11th. I mean, the Rockies have one of those, Ryan Rayburn, you know, guys that had a lot of success in the big leagues like Freese.
Sitting at home.
Didn't sign in December or even January. Spring training was well under the way.
And then they're wondering, am I going to get the chance to sign right now?
Off the plate, it's 3-2.
This is where Chad has the ability to throw a fastball inside to a hitter, kind of lock him up. If he wants to throw that hard breaking slider down and away, he has that option. That was a changeup.
That was a changeup that he doesn't break out all that frequently. He's got that 4-pitch mix, and he's used everything so far in this first frame. He's 15 pitches in. Jaso at second, 1 out. Pitching to the former World Series MVP in 2011. He was an all-star the next year, 2012. Look at how he's being worked by Chad Bettis on the Subaru strike zone.
And all different types, as you referenced, Drew. Had 4-seam, 2-seam, change-up sliders. Well, the wind's picked up quite a bit. You can hear it on our microphone.
It's howling, and he got him on a breaking ball. Nice job. 2 strikeouts, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Starling Marte. I mean, the wind is really gusting. Ryan Rayburn defensively in left. Gerardo Parra in center. Cargo is in right. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, Mark Reynolds in the infield. And the Rockies welcome back Nick Hundley. Nick got a couple of rehab games in with Albuquerque. Played a total of 12 innings. Now Marte went off against the Rockies last year at Coors Field. Last time Pittsburgh was here, they swept a 4-game set against the Rockies in September. They've won 5 straight here at Coors Field. Marte in his career is 17 of 26 at 20th at Blake.
And he's 3 for 3 against Chad Bettis.
Now, the last 5 ball games, the Pirates have hit .371 here. Scoring 8 runs a game, and they've pitched well on the other side of things. Pirates come in 10 wins, 9 losses. Rockies are right at 500, 9-9. Bettis trying to get Marte with a runner in scoring position.
Marte's just grown as a player.
More selective. We have a couple of good young outfielders. Another guy who's grown is Gregory Polanco. And he's just wearing out the Rockies. Cargo on 1 hop, and Jaso gets a stop sign. And it's good for the Pirates he did, because Cargo would have thrown him out by 15 feet. You know what? For now on, when Marte comes up, just point to first. 4 wide ones.
just go on over there. To mention his
18
growth.
18 for 27.
Yeah, his growth as a player. He used to be all pull, and now he will take a ball that's down and away from him, and he'll take it the other way, as we see on the Subaru Supermo. Not much happening on the lower half, but the hands work extremely well. But then Cargo comes up with that laser beam of a throw. Rick Schofield, the third base coach, about halfway down. He says, you're going to have to stop John Jaso, because you'd have been out by a mile.
And it was perfect, because it was hit so hard, and a clean, perfect hop to Cargo. Cervelli at the plate. He takes a strike. Former backup catcher with the Yankees. He's found a home in Pittsburgh. Last year he hit .295, 451 at bats. 7 home runs, 43 driven in, and he's backing it up so far this year.
322, 9 RBIs. He kind of moves around a little bit in the lineup too for the Pirates. I'm just thinking that very first pitch, he didn't agree with it. Maybe he had been off the Subaru strike zone we saw, but to already be barking at the umpire here in the bottom of the first inning.
He's about to get the
or
gear
top
on
of the first, excuse me.
Yeah, go behind the plate. He got locked up on that. Good pitch. Said this so many times, Huey, that this is where the good ones separate themselves. Chad Bettis dealing with traffic in the first inning. But if he could get Cervelli here, he'll get off the field without any damage despite the 2 hits. 0-2. Oh, man. Now it's Nick Hundley's turn to be upset. The runner went, so Marte gets a stolen base.
6 stolen base for Marte. Slider that backed up on the Subaru Supermo. I mean, it's called a strike the first pitch. It wasn't on that one. He didn't swing, but Nick Hundley thought it was a strike.
1-2 and a slow ground ball. And Story's got it, and he throws it across. So a couple hits, a stolen base, but no harm done. Good pitching by Chad Bettis to get out of it. We'll see the Rockies on offense when we come back. Rockies face left-handed pitcher Jeff Locke this evening in the first game of the 4-game set with Pittsburgh. Here's the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss. Trevor Story will bat second. Cargo a couple more hits yesterday. He's leading the club at .342. Nolan next. Ryan Rayburn. He's hit exceptionally well at home. Mark Reynolds. Nick Hundley in the 7th spot. DJ will bat 8th, and then Chad Bettis. Jeff Locke out of Conway, New Hampshire, an all-star in 2013. He's off to a rough beginning, though.
0-2 with a 7.24 ERA in his last start against San Diego. Matched a career high with 11 hits allowed, 8 runs allowed. Fastball, changeup, curveball. The problem with Jeff Locke, talking to some scouts, is he has not been able to locate any of his off-speed pitches, either the changeup or the curveball. So guys are just sitting on the fastball, and then they'll fall behind, and then they wear him out.
Gerardo Parra had a big ball game yesterday, 4 for 5, drove in 4. He takes a strike, and the only time that the Dodgers got him out, it took a diving catch by Trace Thompson to take at least a double away from him and a couple more RBIs. And this is bounced to first, and an easy play for John Jaso. Here are the Pirates defensively. Been solid so far with the gloves. Matt Joyce, Starling Marte in the middle. Gregory Polanco's got a big arm in right field. David Freese, Jordy Mercer on the left side. The versatile Josh Harrison will play second tonight. Mentioned Jaso, and Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate. Yeah, the 13 walks and 13 2/3 innings also jumps off the page at you.
And his whip at 263. I mean, any number you throw out there for Jeff Locke is not pretty for him. He was a second-round pick by Atlanta in 2006.
Yeah, right out of high school. He's from the Redstone neighborhood in Conway, New Hampshire. And he got the nickname in high school, and he was the two-time New Hampshire Player of the Year of the Redstone Rocket. I had Dougie look this up, because whenever you see a guy from one of the smaller populated states, you think, well, how many big leaguers have come out of New Hampshire? Cold weather state too, right?
Right.
Beautiful state. Here's the 1-1. Inside, 2-1 on Trevor. Well, 51 big leaguers have come out of New Hampshire. I was shocked. 51 big leaguers have come from New Hampshire, including Mike Flanagan, Bob Tewksbury, remember him? Joe Lefevre, Phil Plantier, off-speed pitch. That's the changeup. 2-2. Chris Carpenter. Speaking of Cardinals and guys that could really pitch.
Some names on that list.
There's some names on that list.
51.
51. 2-2. Good eye. 3-2.
Dougie also said 4 managers have come from New Hampshire.
There are a lot of baseball players in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, evidently. 1 out, 3-2 on Trevor Story. And ball 4, a walk. Sometimes even something like that will get you going. Trevor 2 for his last 20 at the plate. Productive at bat. And walk number 14 in 14 innings for Jeff Locke. So Cargo steps up. Cargo has seen Locke 3 times. He's 0 for 3 against him. Lefties this year hitting .333 against Locke. Righties are hitting .435.
Including a couple of home runs by the right-handers.
And again, and then he looked at the schedule and he says, oh, I'm making my next start at Coors Field. Wow.
Coming off a start in San Diego, where I gave up all those runs.
And way outside.
And this was kind of indicative of the scouting report I gave, where he's having trouble locating the fastball. Then he starts Cargo off with the breaking pitch. Now he's behind 1-0. When your eyeballs get real big as a hitter.
2-0. Cargo continuing to have a great opening month, and fortunately everybody's okay after yesterday when Cargo went in the stands and inadvertently spiked that little girl, and you're worried about, well, first you worried about the little girl, but then after you worried, well, how's Cargo going to feel today? Obviously he's in the lineup, feels fine. This ball lined the other way, and it's going to fade.
Poor guy down the line had trouble deciding which way that ball was going to go. But yesterday, Cargo, how about this in the 9th inning, just giving it his all. Came within a whisper of catching that ball.
Yeah, when he first went in there, I thought he caught it.
So did everybody else, so they went to the replay.
Story can run at first. Tougher against a lefty.
That's smart. Don't get locked up as a hitter. Wait there too long, you'll start to freeze.
Lefties killed the Rockies last year. They were 21 games beneath 500, 11-32 against lefty starters. So far this year, they're 3-2. Two and 2 with Nolan Arenado on deck. Pirates do have the shift on. And it is pulled. And now it's a foot race. Cargo got to the bag. What great hustle. Cargo goes head first, infield base hit. Little plays like that.
Running hard out of the box. It also helps that Jeff Locke's a left-hander, so where does he fall? He falls more towards the third base side as he comes off the mound, so it takes him a second to gather himself. By that time, that's all it takes for Cargo to slide in there. And watch him go down the line. He knows right here, I've got a chance for a hit. Left hand hits the bag before the first base, or before the pitcher reaches it. Clear look on the Subaru Supermo.
Yeah, just don't jam a thumb.
No, and you're worried about that. That's the only issue about going head first into the bag. You've seen jammed thumbs, you've seen torn ligaments on that thumb, but it's hard to tell your brain to not do that when you sniff a hit.
Well, Nolan with big numbers against Locke. 6 for 11, a home run in his career matchups with Jeff Locke. Walt Weiss told us, you know, midway through spring training, he goes, Cargo is he's healthy again. He's in such a great place in his career. You know, everything he's doing, he said, he wants to lead. And he said, by example, he's leading, because even in spring training games, it was all out.
First to third,
first to third, you know, a ground ball to second, which would be a routine out. And you see guys, you understand it, they'll go 50% up the line, and certainly Cargo's earned that right. But he was going flat out as hard as he could in spring training on every ball he hit, and it's carried over here into the regular season.
When your leaders lead by example, everybody else better follow. And,
sure.
And that's the mentality of a clubhouse, a locker room, even down on the bench. They see him doing that. Then you think to yourself, I can't be that slacker.
And another sports cliche that coaches and managers always point to, when your hardest workers are your best players, you're usually pretty good. Way inside, 2-1. When you go up in the clubhouse and it's 11:30 after a late game, and some guys, you know, get shorts on to go in the weight room, and he's the 320 hitter, and you say, well, you know what, I guess I better follow suit.
I'll be home in about an hour.
Right. This ball pulled foul. Well, Locke will throw that changeup in any count. He'll throw it to get back into counts. He did it there.
Guys are hitting .407 against Locke with runners in scoring position.
Strike 3. Nolan knew it. 2 outs. It'll be left to Ryan Rayburn.
Very rarely will you see Nolan take a fastball for strike 3. I mean, that split the plate mid-thigh on the Subaru Supermo. All I can think of is he was looking for something off speed or a different location. He was just guessing.
Yeah, you don't see Nolan get called out on strike very frequently. Rayburn with 2 outs and 2 on.
You mentioned the difference in the Rockies' record against left-handed pitching this year. This is a guy that has a big part in that.
Absolutely. 4 for 11 at home with a couple of home runs for Rayburn. Trevor Story walked. He's at second. Cargo, an infield hit, is at first. 3 on the left side for Rayburn. So the outfield, at least in center field, with Marte, he's shaded toward the right center field gap. The home runs.
You see that more and more now on this shifts.
Yeah.
Pole on the
ground.
opposite in the air.
Well, the home runs that Rayburn have hit have been on the pull side. So Bettis got extended in the first inning and worked out of a little jam. Locke trying to do the same thing, 21 pitches into the bottom of the first. There's Chad looking on. Rayburn's been nursing a sore quad. Played collegiately in Gainesville at the University of Florida. 2-2. And it's 3-2. So the runners will be off. That's always helpful. Mark Reynolds hoping for an opportunity here in the first frame.
Well, it's helpful too for Cargo how far off John Jaso is playing. So by the time this pitch is delivered to the plate, he's almost 3/4 of the way down to second base. So ball in the gap, he score easily.
Strike 3 called by home plate umpire Lance Barrett. And that ends the inning. Rockies lead 2 on.
Chad Bettis on the hill, and Drew and Jeff have been talking about how he's been using his slider. I talked to Steve Foster, the pitching coach, and yeah, you know, practice makes perfect. That's why he's using it more.
The more you use it, the more you get confident with it, and Chad's been really good, and his cutter is a variation of the slider. Maybe that's a pitch that sometimes is called a slider, but it's firmer, and he's got really good command with it both sides of the plate.
Always talks about command, and he's got command with the slider. I know you guys have been talking about it already here from the first inning.
Well, and it's key to have command of a couple different pitches, obviously, especially for a starting pitcher. I talked to Darren Holmes today and kind of wanted to get the grip and how he held it. So this is going to be the four-seamer. All he does is kind of slide his fingers over so it's on this seam right here. And so when he finishes it, he just kind of finishes out here so you have more of a flat wrist on top instead of getting off to the side. When you get off to the side, that's when you get those cement mixers. They just kind of float up there, and hitters are saying, hey, hit me hard. So all he does is he just slides his fingers over from there, from the four-seamer, to there for the slider, and then just finish out in front with it. And it's get that late action.
2-1 is fouled off. 2-2 on Gregory Polanco.
And you can see the growth of Chad, and you talk about it, you start to have success, you start to throw it more. The batting average against it way back in 2012 was over 300. So I'm not going to throw it as much if it's going to get hit.
I think most pitchers, most players, it's a continual evolution. And they're always tinkering. We had a shot at Clayton Kershaw the other day. He's tinkering with a new grip. You say, well, Clayton, why are you doing anything differently, right? But he's changed a little bit. When he added the slider, talking about Kershaw, he became, you know, a different level of pitcher. That's outside 3 and 2. But this year, as the graphic showed, the league hitting just 150 against his slider, and they're not hitting much better against his fastball, quite honestly. 224. DJ gets over in the hole, 1 out. The other thing is mound presence. When you walk to the batter's box, Huey, you can sense the confidence level, I imagine, of the guy on the rubber. And this guy's confident.
Totally, you can feel it. You can sense it. You look at it, and you say, he already looks defeated. And so my confidence then goes way up if I'm stepping in the box. Conversely, if you have a guy out there that's saying, hey, this is my ball game, this is me, come and get some, it's man against man, you're thinking, whoa, you know what? This guy looks pretty intimidating up there.
Right.
And so you step in the box, and you might not feel as confident as you did walking from the on-deck circle.
And we all know, as Josh Harrison takes outside 1-1, whatever it is in life, when you do it with confidence, you're generally better.
Just an extra bounce in your step, your shoulders are pushed back.
Harrison lifts one towards center field, and a good read on it by Parra. 2 outs. Jordy Mercer coming up. A reminder, you can join in on the conversation this year. Send us your thoughts, photos, questions, and make sure you utilize your favorite social media platform by using the hashtag Toyota Talk. We'll show some of your Toyota Talk comments throughout the game. Mercer, the Pirate shortstop, product of Oklahoma State. 303 average. And he takes strike 1. Mercer's hitting 6 of his last 7 to the tune of a 444 average. Pirates are in game 7 of a 10-game road trip. They're 3-3 thus far. And a ground ball to Nolan. A stop, spin, and fire. A strike across. And a really clean second frame for Chad Bettis. Middle of 2, no score. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Bank of the West. For a personal approach to banking, go West. Bank of the West. By your hometown Toyota stores, Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Load on the spot tonight. Rockies beginning a 4-game set against the Pirates. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Mark Stout. And there is the national champion University of Denver ski team again. 23-time national champs. And for those not familiar, in collegiate skiing, they combine downhill and cross country, so alpine events and cross country. But congrats to the DU ski team. There's the official photo as the Rockies are hosting the national champs. 1-1 on Mark Reynolds, and he swings and misses 1 and 2.
What an honor for those young athletes to be able to say the rest of their life, I was on a national championship team.
How cool is that? 2 and 2.
Uh-oh.
The Thunder.
And some of that 4-letter word.
No, we've been, you know what, it's been good so far.
That's why I didn't say
I don't
it.
want to revisit last year.
I didn't say it.
Reynolds foul tip stays alive. Mark just 1 for 15 lifetime against Jeff Locke. Three and 2. Rockies put 2 on in the first inning. A walk to Story, an infield hit for Cargo. Nolan with 1 out, caught looking, and then Ryan Rayburn caught looking at a pitch he thought was inside. Line drive down the right field line. Long run for Polanco. He was way over in right center field. This could be 3. Reynolds around second. He stumbled and he missed second base. He's got to go back. He flat out missed second base and then fell. And now he can laugh about it. It would have been an easy triple.
And it would have been his first triple this year.
What's going on with missing bases
I have no
lately?
idea. Four-seamer on the Subaru Supermo, away from him, but up. So Mark takes it where you should take this pitch, inside the bag. Down to the right field corner, round and first, trucking, and he's saying, I've got a triple, I've got a triple. Right now he should pick up the bag, and oh, that's what it was.
He tried to kick it.
Tried to kick it, and that caused him to stumble.
Well, how does that happen?
You get misstep, and I mean, your stride length, and part of it was he was looking over his shoulder a little too long. You should have picked up your third base coach by then. Glance over your shoulder, then pick him up. That helps with that stride going into the bag.
And then you can adjust the stride before to make sure you hit the inside corner.
Now use that bag to propel you towards the next base where you really drive the left shoulder down to get that turn.
So Nick Hundley's first at bat in his return. 1-1. Changes Nick's at bat. Now he's going to try to move him as opposed to get him in if Mark was at third base. Would have been Reynolds' 14th career triple. And this one is fielded nicely, and Reynolds will cross over. That's a good read by Mark. And Jordy Mercer got caught napping, Huey. You played shortstop for a long time in the big leagues. I don't want to throw Jordy under the bus. I got to see where he's positioned, but I thought he got caught napping a little bit.
Because once you see that third baseman field the ball, you've got to rotate with him. But we're going to freeze it as soon as he catches the ball, and I'm talking about David Freese right here. Okay, now you see how Mark's already leaning towards third base, and then it becomes just an easy foot race for him because the momentum of the third baseman carries you. Not even a throw from John Jason.
Yeah, and in fairness to Mercer, as you look at the replay, it would have been very difficult. He was moving in that direction.
And I think it had more to do with Mark's break after the throw than Jordy being where he was on the field.
Yep, good base running there by Reynolds to make sure he moved up. A chance for DJ to give the Rockies the early lead. Clint has the infield halfway. With the pitcher on deck, you'll see teams do this. especially if you have average speed at third base or below average speed. Mark Reynolds actually used to run a lot better than you'd think for a guy who's now a corner infielder. He's still solid.
But that's also why you'll see the infielders 2 or 3 steps behind the cut of the grass.
Back in his younger days, he had 24 stolen bases. 2009, 40+ home runs too. Sorts of thunder around the stadium. (3-0) on LeMahieu. Green light him?
I would. Pitcher on deck. But I will say this in DJ's defense. Probably didn't do it a whole lot in the minor leagues, so you don't feel comfortable, even if you do get the green light. It's not like the big guys, the guys that hit in the 3 and 4 spot in the lineup, where they do it all the time.
DJ 0 for 10 against Locke in his career, and overall he's 3 for his last 27. Got a play. Mayhew got off to such a tremendous start. He had multi-hit games in his first 5 to set a Rockies club record. Larry Walker started.
Larry had it.
Yeah, Larry had multi-hit games in his first 4 one year. Strike 3, another caught looking. That's 3 backward Ks in the first inning and 2/3.
That ball looked inside.
You can tell what Walt thought of it.
But that's where they're setting up. It's been called. So now you know what the strike zone is from Lance Barrett.
Yeah, you can tell on that overhead look that ball was in. Bettis looked to push a bunt, which was not a bad idea. Got a lefty on the mound, and Jaso was playing deep. And
I would do it again too, because Mark, it's more if he gets it down, then Mark Reynolds can take off. It's not a squeeze, it's not a safety squeeze. It's just if the bunt is laid down and he feels like he can go, then he does.
There's a strike. Well, because of the thunder and lightning in the area, the Rockies are clearing the rock pile. They're going to relocate those folks. But our man Chris Seiler, you've got to stay, Chris. Sorry. That's where that other pitch was. 2-1. Now you think back, it's 2-2. If Bettis is unable to throw out a hit here, you think back to what should have been a leadoff triple.
That's right.
It changes Nick Hundley's at bat.
Totally, because the Pirates would have played back. They wouldn't have worried about it.
And it is pouring all of a sudden. Now everybody down below is running for cover. And it's coming down so hard, Dale Scott may throw everybody off the field. And he's doing it right now. Dale Scott's pulling everybody off the field with a 2-2 count. And he's going to visit with Mark Raza. Get the weather report. Well, there were dark clouds all around the stadium. And I mean, it's like somebody flipped a switch and it just started coming down.
And
there was no drizzle first. I mean, it just opened up.
Well, and you had lightning and thunder in the area. You have to take those precautions.
So we have our first delay at Coors Field in 2016. Last year, more than 25 hours of delays. So they'll put the tarp on the field. We're in the bottom of the second inning. The Rockies have a runner at third with 2 outs and a 2-2 count on Chad Bettis. We're going to take you to the club. Enjoy, everybody. We'll check back with you in a few.
that Little League game when there's no complaining about them among the parents that my son didn't get to play.
Everybody got to play. Even some that you didn't expect were going to get to play. So here we go. Chad Bettis will resume his at bat. Chad said dead red, 2-2. Get the barrel out. Make like Jonathan Neese. Reynolds at third, a leadoff double, which would have been a triple, but he missed second base, tried to kick it as he went by, stumbled, fell, and had to go back. And look at this, it's going to go foul, and that'll end the inning. So that'll be a strikeout, the fourth strikeout for Jeff Locke, and we'll go to another break. No scores, we go to the third. Office Liquidators series storylines. Rockies overcame a 6-run deficit yesterday, 9 unanswered runs, only to lose in the top of the 9th. And you want to keep building on what Chad Bettis has done each outing. 3 quality starts in a row. Starling Marte came into the ballgame hitting .654 at Coors Field, and he's 1 for 1, a sharp single to right in the first inning. Bettis stranded runners at second and third because Marte also added a stolen base. In the third, Jeff Locke will lead it off, 9-1-2. So Bettis' first pitch after not being on the mound for about 45 minutes, because the rain delay was a little more than 29 minutes. And then, you know, roughly 10, 12, 15-minute inning. Probably wasn't 15 minutes, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 minutes.
But use that time down in the batting cage to keep loose, and then sit down when you think it's about that 10-minute mark, just like you would a normal inning.
Just missed 2-2. I actually really like the idea coming out of the rain delay, even though it was 2-strike count. I mean, Chad's not he's a pitcher. Put the infield back on the right side. Why not try to push a bunt, surprise everybody? He just was a little too fine with it.
Maybe catch him napping, some moisture on the field, somebody slips.
Yeah,
who knows?
That's a good play.
Just said keep it fair.
Yep, good thought. Two and 2 on Locke. And that's got to go foul, otherwise it's a hit. First hit of the year for Jeff Locke. Well, you hate giving those up, especially to a pitcher leading off the inning. You feel like, all right, I got a free out here.
It's a great pitch. Nolan's playing back like he should. But if anybody knows this field and how it rolls, it's Nolan. And he knew that that ball wasn't going to catch the lip and roll foul. This was his only play. But because he was playing so deep, lock hitting from the left side, easy base hit.
John Jaso singled through the left side his first time up. This is a double play ball. Make a good feed. There's the good feed. And a 1-6-3 double play. I really like, Huey, what Bettis did there. May have a little bit of a wet ball. He made sure that he didn't fire it into center field, which we see like half the pitchers in baseball do on a regular basis.
Or alligator arm it. So the ball's coming back to him on the Subaru Supermo. Easy play for him, right? Catches it, and now right here, make sure you have the grip, because he already knows who's covering the bag. He knows that Trevor's going to be there. Looking him in the eye, step, and then make a good throw. And boy, did he ever. That's an easy double play.
Matt Joyce struck out his first time. Takes inside, ball one. Seven pitch inning in the second for Bettis, and there's a chance for a low pitch inning if you could get Joyce here. He was extended a little bit in that first frame. Another strike.
Well, after that first pitch coming out to start this top half of the inning, was a high and outside, Chad's dialed it in.
And that's a base hit to left field. You know, I said 7 pitches in the second. It was actually 12 pitches in the second, but
still a low number.
Still a low number. That'll bring up David Freese. Freese struck out swinging on a slider in the first. Freese and Joyce signed so late, they're not even in the Pirate Media Guide.
Get the supplemental bio guide.
Yep. David Freese, a few days away from his 33rd birthday, and a ground ball to short. And Chad Bettis can walk off the mound. He holds the Pirates scoreless again in the third. Here's our Mako big hit yesterday. Gerardo Parra had a lot of big hits, none bigger than this one. A 2-run bottom of the 8th inning single. The Rockies with a 3-run advantage going to the 9th. We need not tell you what happened in the 9th. So Parra with his second at bat against Jeff Locke. He had a ground ball to first. And he takes a strike. Locke has allowed 3 base runners, a walk to Story, a single to Cargo in the first, and a leadoff double by Mark Reynolds in the second. That's foul. Barr is the 6th player this year in the big leagues to produce a 4-hit, 4 RBI game. Nolan's one of the other 5. He did it on April 13th against the Giants. He had 7 RBIs in that game. 0-2. Tried to spot the fastball, missed. 1-2.
The thing I liked yesterday for Gerardo, a couple of those hits against the lefties, he was just trying to stay up the middle, hit it the other way. Didn't try to overpower the baseball.
That's 5 strikeouts for Jeff Locke, who had only 7 strikeouts coming into the ball game in his first 3 starts. The Rockies score 7 or more as they did yesterday. Make your way to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special at Moss at Taco Bell. Trevor Story walked on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. Trevor 2 for his last 20. Boy, when he checks his swing like that, just kind of holds up, that is exactly the same mannerisms as Troy Tulowitzki did, kind of point the knob.
Point the knob. Well, even before he gets in the box, that deep breath, you'll see that.
1 ball, 1 strike on Trevor.
Just think about the month that Trevor's had in the big leagues. When you talk about all the the records that he has, but just the impact that he's had.
And he's kept a level head throughout it. And the important thing for him is he knows there's going to be ups and downs, going through a difficult period right now, is to keep that same confidence.
That's where you rely on all the work that you do in the off season, in between games, in the batting cage, off the tee, down in the tunnel, your pregame work. Just trust that it carries over to the game. Part of the whole process.
Yep. And another 3-2 count. A lot of deep counts for Locke.
55
pitches.
31 strikes, 24 balls.
And another walk for Story.
Those little things. You mentioned 2 for 20, but those 2 walks, those are little things. You see more pitches, you start to gain that confidence back.
Cargo hit a little squibber on the right side to Josh Harrison, past John Jaso, and he outran Jeff Locke to the bag, head first dive to get the infield hit. Put 2 runners on with 1 out for Arenado, but he was caught looking, as was Ryan Rayburn behind him to end the bottom of the first. The Rockies, they've actually had 2 good scoring chances. You get the lead double last inning. And Cargo hits another one up that right side. 2 outs. Story in scoring position for Arenado. I guarantee you one thing, this at bat will not end with a called strike 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that bet either. And there's a good possibility he's going to swing at the first pitch he sees. Nolan 6 for 17 with runners in scoring position, 353.
Turned away from that. It's a called strike. That's out of play. I can tell you one thing. I know it's raining north of the ballpark. It may not be raining over Coors Field, but
Why,
look at those
clouds.
My goodness.
As long as it stays north.
Nolan keeping the at-bat alive. Story at second. Another 0-2. Locke is staying out of the middle third of the plate, that's for sure.
He went away with the first 0-2, then came inside with the second one. If he goes back away, this is where we see the growth of Nolan, where he would just punch a ball to right field with as much open space as there is where the second baseman normally stands.
Up the middle, but positioned there's Josh Harrison. And the Rockies are done in their half of the third. Story, who walked, is left at second. No scores, we go to the fourth.
Top four no score, Pirates and the Rockies. Earlier today, I was in the clubhouse and I saw Charlie Blackmon packing up his bags. We're saying, where are you going? So Charlie Blackmon is going to Visalia, where the Modesto Nuts will play. He's going to play there for a couple of days, then go to Salt River Fields and be down in Arizona. The team goes to Arizona at the end of the week. Oh, by the way, at DIA, he met some figure skaters. Ashley Wagner, apparently he didn't know who she was. I don't either. I don't know, Drew, Jeff, if you know who she is, but he took a photo and put it on Instagram. So there you go. That's Chuck Nasty for you.
She's a marvelous skater.
Do you know?
She's one of the best skaters in the country.
Well, he didn't really know. I didn't really know either.
Ground ball to third. And Nolan throws a fastball across. A beautiful arm of his, and he gets Starling Marte.
Those are the ones you would like to have a gun on to see how hard that was thrown across the diamond.
Probably about 95.
And this is what they'll do on some tryouts too. They'll put the infielders in a deep spot, maybe usually behind shortstop, but to see what their arm speed is, how hard it is on the Subaru Supermo, doesn't give you the true look, but it gives you the look when he looks it into his glove. And then the arm across, easily getting Marte.
Francisco Cervelli swings and misses. So Blackmon is available to come off the disabled list when the Rockies open up in Arizona on Friday. And that's why 2 on the West Coast and then work out Thursday at the Rockies complex at Salt River Fields. And if all goes well, you'd imagine he would be activated on Friday.
Well, it makes sense. You go out to California, get some nice weather out there for 2 days, Phoenix for another nice day, so you're not worried about, oh, can we get on the field? Is it going to be rain? What's going to happen? No, he gets his work in, meets us there. And there you go.
And Charlie did some base running we showed you yesterday morning and looked good. This is slowly hit. This is another play for Nolan. He's got a catcher running. He's got a catcher jogging, actually. 2 outs. Two outs, and that'll bring up Gregory Polanco.
So, Drew, Ashley Wagner, you mentioned how good she is.
Yeah.
How about the 3-time U.S. national champion in 2012, 2013, 2015?
I told you she was good.
I know. 2-time
You know who
U.S.
should have
bronze
filled us
medalist.
in on that? That's low. Ball 1 on Polanco. One and one. You know who should have filled us in on that?
Who's that?
Well, our home plate cameraman extraordinaire, Sam Herniason. There's Sam hiding his pulled foul. Because last weekend, Sam was shooting the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, right? Is it the U.S. Figure Skating Championship, Sam? This weekend? It's not. You're going to it. Man, a few words. Dougie, can you interpret what he said?
Sam's hiding behind the camera.
Bring him up. 2-2. And that's inside at 94. 3-2. To the very gifted Gregory Polanco. 2 hops to DJ. 3 ground balls and back to the dugout for Chad Bettis. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by American Family Insurance, insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Got a block and a half from Union Station. The Rockies and Pirates are scoreless. And at the top of the fourth, Ryan Rayburn takes inside ball one. Rayburn, Reynolds, Hundley against Jeff Locke. Rayburn caught looking his first time up. Fourth start for Jeff Locke at Coors Field. He's 0-1 with a 5 ERA in his previous 3. We've done a good job changing speeds and living on the edges.
Well, that's what he needs to do when you average 91, 92 mile an hour on your fastball. Cut it into the right-handers. National League All-Star in 2013.
Three and two. Shake the cobwebs out.
I'd go dizzy.
Yeah, I wouldn't like. I'd feel the same way. When you shake your head that fast, that doesn't help.
No.
But maybe it helps Ryan. David Freese.
Coors Field's a great place for group outings. Groups of 25 or more receive discounted pricing, scoreboard recognition, and other great benefits. Call today for more information.
You know what Sam was shooting? He didn't even know what he was shooting last week, and all he cares about is whether he gets a check at the end of the weekend. But it wasn't, what would, you know, how little I know, it wasn't a U.S. Figure Skating Championships. I assume that'll come some point right before the Olympics, right? Dougie, you don't know either. Why? I'm looking around. Nobody knows anything up here anymore.
Just say who he's going to
Team
do it for.
North America wins the inaugural Figure Skating Team Challenge Cup. So that's what Sam was shooting, and that's where all these skaters were, and that's why Chuck Nasty, met our 3-time national champ. Reynolds is out. Boy, Bettis isn't allowing anything in Locke. I have not seen a hard hit ball against Jeff Locke.
Maybe Mark Reynolds to double down the line. That ball was hit pretty well.
That was hit well. That's the only one. Cargo's got the other hit. That was an infield hit. Hundley with 2 outs.
That's 6 ground ball outs for Locke.
Yeah, the only ball to the outfield was that double. In fact, Starling Marte sat down just now.
I don't think he sat down, but he hasn't had
center field.
Yeah.
He put his gold glove on the ground and said, listen, nobody's going to hit it out here right now.
Well, now would be a perfect time then.
It's fouled off. 0-2. So he's chilling. He's a good center fielder.
He is real good. That's
inside. Well, Locke brought a 7+ ERA into the ball game, but he's pitching like he did in the first half of 2013 when he was an all-star.
Oh,
Another
no way.
called strike
That
three.
is not a strike.
And there have been a number of Rockies that have been upset tonight with Lance Barrett.
That's not even close on the Subaru strike zone.
And Walt just got run. You can't argue balls and strikes. Walt was walking away. He came out. Lance Barrett said something to the effect, you can't argue balls and strikes. Walt was walking away and he got run.
I understand Walt's frustration, but you're right. If he's walking away, the umpire should just walk away too. I know he can't argue balls and strikes, but just walk away.
The Rockies are an aggressive offensive team. You've had 4 backward Ks tonight, and that's off the plate away. Weiss. And the first pitch for Bettis to his catcher Nick Huntley, who was upset, is fouled off by Josh Harrison. 7-8-9 for the Pirates in the scoreless game in the top of the 5th, and Tommy Reynolds will run the club, and that hit Harrison.
Trying to go inside, just got away from Chad. Trying to hit him, obviously, just held on to the ball a little too long.
And a strike on Jordy Mercer. And that's a base hit to right. Cargo slides to keep it in front, and he'll hold Mercer to a single. Harrison goes first to third, nobody out, and the Pirates have a great scoring opportunity.
Go back to the pitch that ended the bottom half of the 4th inning on the Subaru Supermo. Turns the changeup over. See Francisco Cervelli reach back across his body. It's not a strike on the Subaru strike zone. This will give you the further confirmation. Nick's arguing, and then Walt goes out to protect his catcher to keep him in the game, and then he ends up getting tossed.
So Jeff Locke, conventional thought would be to bunt here, have runners at second and third and 1 out. pulls the bat back. It's in the strike zone.
So how's this going to play out? So you'll have the first baseman. He'll charge hard. Chad's responsibility is to break towards the line, and for Nolan, he'll have to read it. If it's bunted hard, then he'll go get it, check the runner, and get the out. Not, he'll go back to the bag at third.
I thought for a second that Bettis and Arenado may put on a pick play, because Harrison doing as you're taught. He's coming down as far as the third baseman, but Nolan broke back to the bag, and obviously Bettis is going out of the stretch with a runner at first.
So you have that choice if you would like to. You just don't see it very much. Even during spring training, you don't work on it. It's more designed to keep that base runner at third from dancing too far off the bat.
The other thing you would have almost automatically seen
Yeah.
a couple of years ago is the old third to first move to try to keep Mercer close to that bag. One and two.
And I like where Nick set up on that behind the plate. Set up high. Toughest pitch to bunt for anybody is the one up. Because that, when it's up, you have a tendency to pop the ball up. Now with two strikes, it's not as imperative, but it's still a harder pitch to try to lay down. Set it way up into this area up here.
Hundley has one play, that's first. DJ covers. So Locke on a 1-2 count gets the bunt down. Second and third, one out. John Jaso coming up. Jaso a single of a soft ground ball through the left side with the shift on, and he hit a comebacker that turned into a 1-6-3 double play. Ball one on Jaso, who's got an on-base percentage in the top spot in the Pirate lineup of .420. The only leadoff hitter better so far this year is Dexter Fowler. Two and 0.
John Jaso, I'm trying to think back to the last guy, maybe Tony Batista, that stood as wide open. Now it looks fine right here, but watch where his right foot is going to end up. It's going to be way behind him. Have you seen that?
Looks like he's in a sprinter stance.
I mean, Tony Batista stood wide open and then went in, but I've never seen this before.
I've never seen that, because the overhead angle shows that his feet, he's actually, both feet are facing the pitcher. It's not, you know, off center at all. They're both, you know, his body is. That'll get a run home. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Jaso's 6th RBI. So that hit batter comes back to hurt Chad Bettis. Mercer went to third, and Matt Joyce strikeout and a single for Joyce. Matt Joyce last year played for the Angels, just like David Freese, 2 late signees. Prior to that, Tampa for a number of years, came up with Detroit in 2008. He was an all-star in 2011.
Got off to a bad start in Anaheim last year, but then rebounded, ended up hitting .257. 14 home runs, 56 RBIs.
1-1. A 2011 All-Star campaign, he hit .277, 19 home runs, 75 RBIs. Also was 13 of 14 stealing bases for Tampa. 1-2. Down the line, foul. From the rock pile on down.
Fans back in the rock pile.
The weather has passed.
Well, that was called a strike last half inning.
And there's a lot of umpires in the stands that are wondering why it wasn't called a strike. 2-2. Ground ball to DJ. Pirates get a run. It's 1-0, middle of 5. Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Well, not a whole lot going on offensively, really, for either team. The Pirates scratched out a run last inning. They have a 1-0 lead, 8-9-1 for the Rockies in the bottom of the 5th. Jeff Locke facing DJ LeMahieu. He's one of the 4 Rockies to be caught looking in this game. 6 strikeouts in all for Jeff Locke. And a sharp single for DJ. The Rockies have the leadoff man aboard for the 2nd time in the game. See if Bettis can get a bunt down here.
Well, you want to gear up for the 2016 season at your local Rockies dugout store, the place for all things Rocky. Get your gear on at the Rockies dugout stores. Chad looking for his first sacrifice bunt of the season. Get that first throw over. Nope. Good job.
Yep, great bunt. One 4 on the sac bunt. LeMahieu at second. Gerardo Parra coming up. Gerardo is 0 for 2. Ground out and a strikeout.
Be a good time to break the 0 for 6 that the Rockies are tonight with runners in scoring position.
Parra has more hits to left than any other section of the baseball diamond. We'll spray the baseball line to line.
It's part of the reason why he's 6 for 16 with runners in scoring position. 8 to left, 7 to center, 4 to right.
And a great bunt. That's going to stay fair. And moving to third is LeMahieu. First and third, 1 out. So a bunt single from Parra.
Surprise bunt. But what a surprise it was. He laid this down. If you were just to stand at home plate and roll the ball out there, you couldn't have put it in a better spot. Four-seam fastball on the Subaru Supermo, catches it right off the end of the bat. I like that too, that he bunts and then runs. Too many times guys are running out of the box and they have the bat behind them, so their eyes aren't able to track the ball to the barrel of the bat. What David Freese can do is pick it up and give it right back to Jeff Locke. Say, here you go.
Trevor Story has walked twice in the game. First and third. 1 out in the 5th. The Rockies trailing 1-0. And that's inside. Looked to be a borderline pitch. Called a strike, 1-1.
But it's been that way all night. So I think now you have to just forget about that and expand the strike zone 2 or 3 inches on each side. I know it's not what you want to do as a hitter, but the umpires dictated the strike zone. It's been that way all night.
17 inches is tough enough to cover.
It is, and I've always said I can go north or south. If you want to go high or down low, that's fine. Don't make it any wider because my bat can't get any longer in the zone.
You got a pitch to hit there, and you fouled it back, 1 and 2. One of the few hittable pitches Locke has thrown. He's taken advantage of the liberal strike zone. You got to get it in play, and here's the advantage that you have if you're Trevor Story. He runs really well, so even on the ground, he's a tough guy to double. Came in at 91. It's 2-2. Either get it in play or, as he's done 8 times this year, hit it out of play. 2-2 on Trevor Story. And another 3-2 count.
While we have
3 of those tonight.
Yeah, and while we have a minute, we look to the arms of the outfield for Pittsburgh. In left field, Matt Joyce below average. Accuracy's average, but center field, Starling Marte, plus arm. Gregory Polanco in right field, same thing, plus arm. They charge the ball also very well in center and right.
See if the runner's going here, Parra. That's what Locke thought. That's why he checked him out.
This is where if you are going to go at first, you can't get picked off. You just wait till the ball gets halfway there, and you're hoping that the guy at the plate puts the ball in play.
Parra goes, and it swung on and missed. He'll steal second. He went with the curveball. Maybe it was a changeup. And there are 2 outs. Cargo coming up.
And it is indeed a changeup. See the circle change on the Subaru Supermo. So it comes off the middle finger and the second to the last finger. That takes the velocity off of the pitch. But with that stolen base by Gerardo Parra, that's his 5th now on the season.
A really good situational base stealer. He's stolen 3rd a couple times. Shift is on for Cargo. He has an infield hit and a weak ground ball to the right side. See if he's learned anything from his first 2 encounters with Locke. This ball's in the air to center field. Coming on is Marte, and the Rockies fail to take advantage of base runners again. They trail 1-0 as we go to the 6th. Sixth inning. Here's our Let's Motor player profile brought to you by BMW Mini. A little more on Starling Marte, born in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Like so many, he was a shortstop originally before moving to the outfield. And on the first pitch he saw in the big leagues, he hit a home run. David Freese, Starling Marte, and Francisco Cervelli. 3, 4, and 5 in the 6th inning against Chad Bettis. Bettis has pitched well again.
The lone mistake he made was hitting the leadoff hitter Josh Harrison last inning, who came around to score.
0-2 outside, 1-2. Coming into the ball game, he had struck out 19 and walked 6. Didn't walk anybody in Cincinnati. He hasn't walked anybody tonight. 2-2. And now it's 3-2. And he got it with looked like cutter, slider, cutter, whatever it is. Freese has got to leave.
Freese is usually a pretty good breaking ball hitter, but not tonight. Both times he struck out have been on the slider. This was a backup slide on the Subaru Supermo. The fans' individual game day suites and party facilities are now on sale. Coors Field has something for everyone in every budget. Go to Rockies.com/suites for more information.
Rockies were going to stop the game and celebrate last at bat. They got Marte to ground to third. He's hit like 8,000 prior to that bat against the Rockies.
Maybe not quite that high, but it does seem like it.
It's just ridiculous. He was 18 for his previous 27 at Coors Field against the Rockies.
Well, and he tied a career high yesterday with 4 hits. Done that 9 other times.
0-2 on Marte. Gold Glove winner last year in center field. .287, 19 home runs, drove in 81 last year. Stole 30 bases. Pirates have utilized young talent like Marte, Andrew McCutchen naturally, Gregory Polanco, and good pitching to make the playoffs the last couple of years. Though this year they've been different. Now, I understand that we're 19 games in from the Pirates' perspective, but Clint Hurdle's team was so dominant last year on the hill. This year they've been the opposite, but their swing in the back's great. Back up the middle. Bettis got knocked down for a moment. And he'll throw from the seat of his pants, no problem.
Well, that's what you do when the ball comes back at you that hard, knocks you down. Well, I don't have time to stand up. Short little throw. I should be able to do that. But even the balls that he gets out on for Marte, he hits them hard. And they go down in the books as a 1-3. Chad said, no, that wasn't the routine 1-3.
No, that was not routine. Cervelli 6-3 and 5-3. 2 ground balls to the left side. 2 outs in the 6th inning. And a slider for a strike. Well, you wonder with the delay, that factors in a little bit, if Chad will work beyond this inning. Where's that? 1-1. He's in the low to mid 90s in terms of pitches. It just seems, 100 now. Alarm bells go off. John Smoltz spoke about that the other day. That's fair. Cervelli busting it this time, and he's out by a strike. I'll tell you about that when we come back. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Nolan with the fine defensive play will lead it off next inning.
off. He picked up where he left off from last year, of course, offensively, and at the plate, he's been able to draw more walks. I asked him why that is. Here's what he said.
I've been patient. I'm seeing the ball pretty good. I'm laying off close pitches, which, you know, usually I'd be swinging at. And I mean, it's still April. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna not walk as many times as people think I am. But it is nice to walk a little bit. Me and Cargo got a little contest going on right now where I have more walks than him, and I'm trying to beat him this year. But because he makes fun of me all the time for not walking and striking out too much. But so hopefully I could beat him. But right now I have a pretty solid lead.
He's got 9 walks. He leads the team, guys, as he steps in the box. And Cargo's got 5. So I guess we'll follow along with those two as the season progresses.
Well, the good news is when you're a little more selective, as good a hitter as as Nolan is, I should say. As this ball's hit well to center field. How well? Not quite well enough. Tracked down out there by Marte. But it should mean some more points on his batting average, you would think.
You would think so. And for Nolan, too, he's maturing as a hitter. He's 25 now, so he knows the strike zone. But I think the other thing is the respect factor that he's getting from other clubs where they're not pitching him like they did before. They're pitching him more carefully.
Ryan Rayburn a strikeout and a ground ball to third. So I mentioned John Smoltz. Heard an interview with John recently. He's a Hall of Famer, guy that was a great starter, great closer inside. And he said this whole pitch count thing is just crazy to him. He said, I could go out and throw when I was pitching. He goes, he actually even said right now, he goes, I could go throw 200 fastballs right now. So it's not going to wear me down. Obviously, when you're competing, there's a stress level. But this idea that guys can't go out and throw 130, 140 pitches, he's baffled by it, and he thinks, that it's not good for the game.
It used to be 125 was kind of the magic number. Once guys start to get to that
another
mark.
backwards K. And now Ryan Rayburn hanging around. Second time he's been called out by Lance Barry.
So turn around.
And he just got thrown out.
See,
that's ridiculous. He's walking away. He's eyeballing him, trying to pick a fight.
And that's exactly what Tommy just said to Lance. He had his back to you.
He's not showing. If his back, he's walking away. If he's walking away, he's not showing you up. And Stu Cole wants to make sure Ryan doesn't get any further penalty. Dale Scott, the crew chiefs, moved in.
Now here comes Bob Davidson.
He has no business. I don't understand that. Why is a third? I mean, I understand Dale Scott.
Dale's a crew chief. He's trying to get the player out of there.
Why is Bob Davidson involved?
And he shouldn't be. I mean, this is between Lance and the crew chief. I'm surprised. Quite honestly, though, I'm surprised Tommy hasn't gotten run yet.
I can't recall the last time I've seen that many called strike threes.
Well, that are bad strike threes. I mean, this is...
That's low.
That's low and inside. You can see it on the Subaru strike zone. Overhead will give us an even better look at this.
Listen, they're human. I get it. And Lance Barrett's having a bad night with the strike zone.
Okay, so he's walking away. Nobody knows what's going on.
His back's turned.
Yeah. That's just wrong. Let the player have his say, okay? But nobody in the ballpark knows what he's saying to you. You shouldn't know.
Understand, and you should, Lance is a veteran umpire, that it's an emotional game. When you get shown up, that's when you have, I don't want to say an obligation, but that's where I understand when guys run guys if they feel they're being shown up. He was not being shown up. Nobody, if he muttered anything, can hear what he said.
And nor could he hear what he said if he has his back turned towards him.
Two and one on Reynolds. In the air to right. This is going to drop. You know, at the end of the day, it's a one-run game. You got to overcome it. I mean,
that's right.
It's that simple.
Now you look for the first pitch that you can handle. Now that's, hey, I can work the count. No, you can't work the count. You see one that you like, you go to Hackett.
And that's another, again, borderline, real borderline strike. And Huey, I know there's some people at home, they're saying, well, then you got to make an adjustment, and you alluded to that earlier. But East and West, as you said, you are so conditioned to know the strike zone that a baseball outside the zone, when I'm not talking literally baseball, I'm saying figuratively, that it's, you know, 2-3 inches off the plate, your mind tells you no.
No, I'm not swinging, I can't. I mean, all the pitches that you've seen in the minor leagues and the big leagues condition you to have your own strike zone as a player. So you're right. When that pitch is coming out right out of the hand, you recognize it as a ball.
Cervelli goes to that outside corner. 2-2. Rockies, no runs, 5 hits. A run on 5 hits for Pittsburgh. Eight strikeouts for Locke, 5 of which were called third strikes. Rockies, I'm sure, will insert Brandon Barnes.
Well, now it might make your choice on what you do with Chad Bettis if you have to double switch, because you're only carrying 4 bench guys now.
And a ground ball on 2 hops to Mercer. Nothing again for the Rockies. The 6th, they leave Reynolds aboard. We'll go to the 7th. 1-0 Pirates. as opposed to yesterday. To recap, the only run for the Pirates came on an RBI ground out. The man who scored, Josh Harrison, reached leading off the inning on hit by pitch. Chad Bettis again has pitched very well. This looks to be his last inning. He's at 93 pitches now. Walt Weiss was ejected in the fourth for arguing balls and strikes. He was ejected very quickly by Lance Barrett. Lance Barrett has become the story this evening. He just ran Ryan Rayburn, who was walking off after being called out on strikes for the second time tonight. He has had a liberal zone east and west, to say the least.
I'm glad Chad's back out there this half inning.
I could not agree more with your statement.
Just let him go.
Polanco takes a ball. That pitch evidently just off the outside corner.
I know he's at 94 pitches and all that, but
well, we just had that discussion.
He looks great.
He looks great. He's really effective. There's a base hit to left.
And give him a chance to win the game.
And give him a chance to win the game. Yesterday, the Rockies had to utilize a number of pitchers. Chris Russell did a great job in relief of Jordan Lyles. And if you missed it, the Rockies optioned Jordan Lyles to Albuquerque today, and they called up Scott Oberg. The other move, Nick Huntley was activated off the concussion DL. Dustin Garneau was also optioned back to Albuquerque. So Polanco, who can run, is at first, and Harrison, who's a good handler of the bat, is at the plate. Josh was an all-star 2 years ago.
He likes to swing at the first pitch. Josh Harrison swinging about 57% of the time at the first pitch.
Hit and run candidate. Inside, ball one. Harrison 2 years ago in making that all-star team hit .315 on the season. 13 home runs, 52 RBIs, 77 runs. He's Clint Hurdle's Swiss Army knife. They got him. Ooh.
Nope.
Close.
Swiss Army knife because he can play any position. Shortstop, third base, second base. Well, they almost caught. Whoa, that's close.
You got to look at that one, don't you?
Look at that again, maybe. Does it look like they got him right on the ribs before the right hand gets back to the bag? It's tough to see on the Subaru Supermo from that angle.
Well, the Rockies elect not to challenge, and it's a high fly ball to left center field. Ben Paulson, not Brandon Barnes, has replaced Rayburn, who was ejected. Tagging, which is a smart base running play based on where that was hit, is Polanco. So he moves up on the fly ball. 1 out. Jordy Mercer coming up. Mercer 1 for 2.
Jason Rogers has already grabbed a bat and come to the on-deck circle for Jeff Locke.
Mercer's been swinging the bat well. He takes ball 1. He's hitting .444 over his last 7 games.
He came into camp this year knowing that shortstop was his. I think that made a big difference for him. One and one.
Scott Oberg has begun to throw for the Rockies. I think the other thing you're doing, if you're Walt Weiss, I know Walt's been ejected, but you're making a statement also to Chad Bettis on how much you believe in him. And right now, Chad is the ace of this staff.
Right.
You know, Jorge has not pitched real well through the first few weeks of the season. De La Rosa is scheduled to go tomorrow.
And even though he was originally scheduled for Tuesday, he's pitching today, he's still on his normal rest. So it's not like he's coming back a day early.
Good point. This is inside 3-1. Rob Scahill, the erstwhile Rocky, is warming in the Pirate pen. Like a half a swing. Bettis gets there and tags the bag. Great job breaking to the bag. Great angle to the bag also by Bettis as Mark Reynolds fed him 2 outs. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. How about the Pirates last year against the NL West? You want to talk about dominant. And last time I checked, there's a lot of teams with talent in the NL West. 27-6 a year ago, which was the best mark any team had against a division in 2015. And the only time by percentage we've seen anything better was the '94 Braves when they went 25-4 against the West. Of course, the first year the Rockies and Braves, you know, in the same division, because there were 4 divisions then, and the Rockies didn't win a game against Atlanta. And then as irony would have it, 95 they meet them in the postseason.
Right, but 27-6, they were also, of that, they were 14-3 on the road.
So here's Rogers, the pinch hitter. And he takes a strike.
First pinch hit appearance for Jason this year.
Blocked by Hundley. So the Pirates played a 12-10 game, 13 innings in Arizona. The Rockies played a 12-10 9-inning 4+ hour game here at Coors Field. Tonight it's the 7th inning and it's 1-0. Go figure.
That's baseball for you.
Yes, it is.
You can't figure it out. You just enjoy it. Jeff Locke came into the game with a 7.24 ERA.
Yeah, there's something else. Go figure.
Right.
And at Coors Field, where, as we know, runs typically come in an abundance, and he's throwing up zeros all night.
See ya.
Let's take a look at the overhead on this one. Take the center field, and that looks away. But the reason that you have the cat calls is that Lance Barrett has called that a strike a number of times tonight. Slider 3-2. Polanco at third with 2 outs.
Dig deep right now.
This is going to be his last pitch. He knows it.
Yes, he is fun to watch right now. Dig deep. This pitch, make it happen.
And he lost him. And now you have Jaso coming up. Jaso is 1 for 3. He has the only run batted in tonight. That was on a ground ball to the right side. DJ LeMahieu with less than 2 outs, and Harrison at third.
It's like that interaction just a moment ago with TER and Chad. Looked at him. You're good. Let's go. This is your game, pal. You've earned this.
First walk of the night, and this gets away, and another run will score. 2-0.
Where did this hit? More of the curveball.
That's one that's got to be blocked.
Yeah, because it didn't hit the dirt.
It scored a wild pitch, but Nick Hundley We'll tell you after the game, and unless some, and I don't see how he get crossed up because there's no runner on second.
No.
He turned his glove late, and that's a ball that has to be blocked. And I'm sure Nick will say that after the game. Hopefully, it's meaningless after the game and the Rockies rally. That's a big second. The way this game's gone, that's a huge run.
He got underneath his glove.
Remember the wild pitch last night in the 9th inning, Jake McGee, that's what tied it. Of course, the Dodgers went on to score a couple more times. 3-0. Good pitch.
Still going right after him. 113 pitches, 70 for strikes for Chad.
Rogers at second, 3-2 on Jaso. And he lost Jaso. And now you got to go get it.
Yep.
Back-to-back walks. Nothing Pittsburgh with 2 outs in the 7th. And Chad Bettis pitched very well again. Scott Oberg will be on the bump when we come back. Time now for the Kubota pitching performance. Chad Bettis is off to a fantastic start. That's the line tonight, though he is responsible for Polanco at second and Jaso at first with 6 2/3. And that's a winning performance. I mean, especially at Coors Field. Unfortunately, the Rockies have a bagel on the scoreboard offensively. So Matt Joyce will come up, and Scott Oberg will make his 2016 debut. Unfortunately for Scott, who in his first year in the big leagues last year had some stretches where he pitched very well. He had some stretches where he really struggled with the long ball. But this spring, he had a tough spring, did not make the club. Went down to Albuquerque, pitching much better down there, and he got the call up today when Jordan Lyles was sent out. And this one goes all the way to the backstop. Now you have 2 in scoring position.
2 wild pitches this inning. One could have been a pass ball earlier, but doesn't matter. Either way, one scores a run, this one moves 2 guys up now.
And that's a 3-foot miss.
Yeah, especially a fastball. That's the hardest one. When you're over there, you're thinking it's going to be in one location. You got to try to catch 94 reaching back across your body.
Oberg touches the knees with that fastball. It's 1-1. Strikeout, single, and a ground ball to second for Joyce. This ball's well hit left center field. And it is going to get on out of here. 3-run home run. And now the Pirates have a 5-0 lead, and that's exactly what plagued Scott Oberg last year. He gave up a ton of long balls.
And you add a couple more earned runs onto Chad Bettis' line now. Matt Joyce stays with that fastball away, stays behind the baseball. Sounded loud off the bat, and it was. It's up 3 or 4 rows deep.
Yeah, the line now for Bettis is going to reach 6 2/3, 4 runs, 6 hits, couple walks, 3 strikeouts, wild pitch, and a hit batter. He pitched a lot better than that line. You'll read about in the paper tomorrow or online tonight. A strike on David Freese. Rockies now have a significant hill to climb. They're down 5-0. Couple of ejections tonight because Lance Barrett's strike zone has not sat well with the Rockies. And Walt Weiss the first to go. Ryan Rayburn called out on that pitch down and in. Second time he was called out on strikes. He's walking away and Lance Barrett threw him out. And then Joyce against Scott Oberg. First batter Oberg facing in relief of Chad Bettis, and he hits it the opposite way for a 3-run home run. Just the 12th home run this year hit by the Pirates. They've been swinging the bat very well from an average standpoint, but they had not been hitting the long ball. So the Rockies are down 5-0. Career high 114 pitches thrown. by Chad Bettis. And into the ball game is Rob Scahill, the product of Bradley University and a former Rocky. He's found a home in Pittsburgh.
Did not pitch yesterday. 4 1/3 innings for Rob. Just a measly .23 ERA. Oh, excuse me, 6.23. Take that back.
That's a base hit for DJ, his second of the night. Good to see DJ throwing out a couple of hits. And that'll bring up Christian Adames. No pinch hit for Oberg. That's ripped to center field for Adames. Going first to third is DJ.
Christian came in 1 for 18. Being left-handed, just 1 for 15. Doesn't wait around. First pitch he sees from Rob Scahill. Belt high fastball, middle part of the plate. Doesn't get any better than that. Christian drives it to center field. Get a little bit of a rally going here. And DJ, you know, Starling Marte, you have a strong arm, but you had to go to your left. I'm going to go ahead and take third. Join the big leagues by signing up for the Rockies Rookies Kids Fan Club. Open to kids 15 and under. Get discounted Rockies tickets, access to members-only events, and more. Rockies Rookies.
Well, the Rockies will try to duplicate what they did last night, but have a different finish. They were down 6 runs last night, rallied for a 3-run lead. I won't finish the thought after that. And tonight, they find themselves down by 5 in the 7th. First and third, nobody out. Parra with Story on deck, Cargo in the hole. And this is toward the hole, and they'll get it out. Mercer able to get the force out, but LeMahieu scores, and the Rockies are on the board. Well, another guy with Colorado ties is up. A.J. Schugel from the Highlands Ranch area. A.J. worked yesterday. Everybody had to work pretty much yesterday for the Pirates in that 13-inning ball game down in Phoenix. Silas Germain is throwing in the Rockies bullpen. Story 2 walks and a strikeout. Rob Scahill, and I have great respect for Rob Scahill. Heck, I get great respect for anybody who's good enough to play at this level. But Rob's repertoire, he's a mid-90s guy. It fits the Rockies lineup better than Locke, who's going to nibble.
Yeah, he's going to challenge you more than Locke did.
And you know what I mean by that.
Locke was trying to shade the corners.
Right.
He was living on the black, even some offside or outside the black. But Rob's more, here it is, try to hit it. I'm going to throw the hard slider to back it up. For Rob, fastball be 94 to 95, then slider about 86 to 88.
Story pops it up. This is a long run for everybody. Harrison over there, he makes the catch.
Marvelous catch from Josh Harrison. where he was positioned and how far he had to run, and then make the sliding catch. I mean, he's up the middle. He's playing double play depth. He's tracking this the whole way. Jason's not going to catch it. Subaru Supermo, he catches it, then slides, and this helps him pop back up to keep the runner from advancing. So he put that right foot down in the dirt to get up to make the throw.
So Cargo, 1 for 3. Infield hit back in the first. (5-1) Pittsburgh. We had a frustrated and angry team after last night, Huey, and they were further frustrated by the strike zone and their inability to take advantage of a couple of early game opportunities.
Well, you wipe that frustration away. You still have 7 outs to play with. So you chip away here. You know you've added 1. Why not add a couple more? Then you're down by 2.
Cargo, this is one of those rare situations he'll be taking here. Down by 4 runs, 3-0. You need base runners. Nolan on deck. 3-1.
And he's hoping he gets that same pitch, 3-1 now.
Yeah, because the rooftop may have to look out.
Good eye.
So Cargo walks, Parr in a second, and here comes Nolan. Looking down to see if Clint climbs the steps, and here he comes. Clint had that hip replaced. He's moving a lot better.
A lot better this year
than he did the last couple of years. Cahill goes off. 2 on, 2 outs. Arenado coming up. Five, 1, 2 on. Arenado coming up to face local product AJ Schugel. Did after every Rockies victory get half off your online order at Papa John's? Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. AJ Schugel prepped at Mountain Vista High School down in Highlands Ranch, and then he went on to Central Arizona Junior College. He was drafted out of there in the 25th round. He comes from a baseball family. His dad, Jeff, played 3 years of minor league baseball. He's been a long-time scout. He's in the Reds organization scouting.
Now he has a chance to pitch in in front of some friends and family, and for AJ, fastball, changeup, curveball mix. Going 5 ball games, 5.87 ERA. 9 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Way outside. Parra drove in a run on a fielder's choice. He's at second. Carr goes at first. He just walked. Everybody, Dylan would like to see Nolan hit a 3-run shot. Actually, in these situations, you want to keep the turnstile moving. You like to see like a 2-run double, and then Paulson go deep and tie it up. It's fouled off. We'll take any of the above.
Any of the above. Could be A, B, C, or E. Not good tonight for the Rockies. 1 for 10. They've had plenty of opportunities, just haven't come through with that big hit yet. Paulson is in the ball game after Ryan Rayburn was ejected.
Two and 1 on Arenado. 0 for 3 tonight. Hit one to the fence his last time at center. That one's fouled straight back. Well, for a moment he hit it out. Starling Marte went to the wall to make the catch.
It's a little heavier air tonight after the rain. Temperatures dipped down to 56 degrees. That might have had something to do with it. Might have missed it by a grain or 2.
Two. 3 and 2. So the runners will be moving.
That pitch was nowhere near where Francisco Cervelli had set up. Nobody warming up for the Pirates in their bullpen.
A literal pirate in the ballpark. 3 and 2. Routine fly ball that's in shallow left. The shortstop Mercer makes the catch. The Rockies get a run. They leave 2 on. 5-1 as we go to the 8th. Pittsburgh in front.
in the annals of baseball as we flash back, because it was on this day 40 years ago in 1976, a Sunday afternoon in LA. Rick Monday, playing center field for the Cubs, then steals the flag away from two that were going to try to light it on fire. Rick Monday was a member of the Marine Corps, and on this day today, Rick Monday, who would play for the Dodgers the following year, threw out the first pitch at Chavez Ravine. Everybody remembers this day in baseball history, guys.
Yep, we got to see Rick the last few days. He remains a terrific broadcaster. He was the first pick in the first ever June amateur draft, 1965, at Arizona State. He was 1-1.
And ASU is going to honor him tomorrow night in their game against the U of A, their arch rival.
Ground ball to short. It's Adames at short now. It makes a nice play. The Rockies went with a double switch. Adames stays in the game with the short bench. The Rockies will try to get 2 innings out of Gonzalez-Germain.
First outing for Germain this year after being recalled. 1 2/3 scoreless. A couple walks, 2 strikeouts, but he was marvelous. He was attacking the zone. It was 94, that hard slider. It was just impressive.
It looks like what it should look like for a late inning reliever. And I think he'll end up eventually being a plus side late inning relief guy.
Well, they claimed him off waivers last year from the Chicago Cubs. Had some up and down moments. But there's no denying the whip in the arm.
Two and 0.
And one final thought for that Rick Monday flag too. He was able to keep that, and then he took it out and around and used it and raised money for charity with the flag. Raised over $500,000 taking it to various events.
Well, if you know Rick a little bit, that sounds exactly like it.
Yes, it does.
And he has said many, many times he did not look at it as some heroic act. He was just.
Well, he said.
He was just acting. He said so that's not going to happen anywhere near me.
Well, and as Mark said, he was in the Marine Corps Reserves, and all he could think about was his drill sergeant saying, "You're going to let them do that to that flag?" And that's what prompted him to go out there and take it from him.
Yep. Good man, that Rick Monday. 2 balls and a strike on Cervelli. Good pitch by Germain.
Tardy swing from Cervelli. It's a late life on the baseball.
See ya. 2 outs.
Overmatched on the first two fastballs, and then a painted fastball on the corner. Cervelli just watches it. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Marco Scutaro jersey.
That I hadn't seen in a while.
No, I'm starting to see a lot more of the Trevor Story jerseys.
That we're going to see plenty of. Polanco takes high, ball 1. This ball is a broken bat fly ball into the corner that lands fair. Cargo's going to fire it back in. It's a 2-out double.
Could hear the crack of the bat as soon as he made contact. Well, that's why it was off the end of the bat. Still strong enough to hit it 330 feet down the right field line. Polanco signed a 5-year extension at the start of this year. Signed through 2021.
Harrison at the plate, 0 for 2, hit by a pitch in the 5th inning, and he scored the first run of the game. 5-1 Pittsburgh. That's a base hit, and that's going to score Polanco. It is 6-1. Well, this is what the Pirates, Huey, have done all year. Mentioned a couple times that the Pirates have not pitched anywhere close to how they pitched a year ago. They haven't hit home runs. They've hit one tonight, 12th home run for the Pirates this year. I mean, their leading home run hitters, a part-time player in Sean Rodriguez, he has 3 or 4.
But now some of the offense is carrying the lack of pitching. Last year they were 1st overall in bullpen, 2nd in baseball with their average.
They're really swinging.
ERA,
yeah, they're really swinging the bat this year, and their on-base percentage reflects that. It's a fly ball to center field by Mercer. Parra makes the catch. 2-out single for Harrison, drives in the 6th Pirate run. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Wells Fargo, customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies, and by Volkswagen. Pirates up 6-1 as Ben Paulson leads off. He's 10 for his last 27 after starting the year 2 for 11. He takes a strike from A.J. Schugel. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's also 9 for 18 career against Pittsburgh.
The Rockies have now 6 outs to work with. Created some traffic in the 7th, got a run, and this is tapped back to the mound, 1 out. So we were discussing this last inning. The Pirates in 2015 went to the playoffs because they had the best bullpen by ERA in baseball. And overall, they had the second finest ERA in baseball, 3.21. This year, their pen has really taken on water, 24th in baseball. You know, more than 2 runs poor, and I understand it's still just April. And overall, a 4.57 ERA, 23rd. But they're over 500 at 10-9, based on the fact that they have produced a lot of traffic on offense.
Well, part of the reason for their bullpen woes, they don't have Jared Hughes, who's supposed to be back probably on Wednesday. Watch out. But they also have not had a starter go longer than 6 innings this year, other than Jonathan Neese, and he did it just 1 time.
This is called up and in.
Yeah, those are the scary ones for a hitter, because sometimes you don't start to duck until after it's by you.
Hard hit ball to center.
That ball was hit right on the screws, and it was knuckling out to center field in Starling Marte.
2 outs. Huntley coming up. Nick in his return. Ground ball to third. Called strike 3 he didn't like. And a ground ball to short. Passover last weekend. Happy Passover. Ball off the plate. Ball 1. And up high, 2-0. Mark talked about it earlier. Charlie Blackmon leaving on a rehab assignment. Next couple of days he'll play in Visalia for Modesto, the California League. And then he'll work out Thursday at Salt River Fields. Join the club. This ball's well hit. Got a chance to get out, maybe. And it's off the wall. And Nick on his way to third with a triple. That's another one that, you know, a year ago would have been out. First triple for Nick Hundley. And when the wall went up, there was speculation. I remember Jeff Bridett saying it probably will lead to plenty more triples, maybe the occasional inside the park home run. And we've seen Trevor Story have 2 triples off the wall, and now Nick Hundley.
This ball is driven to right field. Polanco has the best angle on it, but he knows that wall's coming up quickly on the Subaru Supermo. Right over his glove. And Nick sees it down. Trucks into third easily.
You know, it's hard to tell, because one of the things they did with the new fence is they cut out more area that that you're able to see through into the bullpen. So the original fence, you can see what I'm talking about. It's a couple feet higher. If you look at that padding on the left side of the picture. So it was
right in that area, right
if
there.
it hits it there, that would have been off the wall last
Yes.
year also. And Nick's ball, that would have been close.
It's kind of hard to see, you know, where would it had the height to go over the top of it.
DJ's 2 for 3 tonight. Here's something else to keep in mind. You know, everybody was naturally alarmed because Trevor Story lost a couple home runs. At least in those games where the balls hit the fence, the new fence, the Rockies won the game. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Well, and the other one was Brandon Barnes' triple the other day.
Right.
And they won that game too.
This is toward the hole. Mercer has a long throw, and he gets plenty on it. So Nick is left at third base. 8 innings complete at Coors Field. It's not the story the Rockies were looking for. 6-1 Pirates.
Toyota post-game show out in center field. Jenny Kavnar with Corey Sullivan and Ryan Spilbergs. This one had the making of a Rockies win to get out of their funk. They've lost 4 out of the last 5. Chad Bettis on the mound. Unfortunately, things kind of fell apart late.
Yeah, well, not a quality start for Chad Bettis. 14 ground ball outs. He threw the ball really, really well. Unfortunately, home plate umpire Lance Barrett did not agree.
Yeah, no, Rockies missed a lot of opportunities, a lot of strike calls that we're sitting there and we're going, what? Yeah. So we'll break it down for you.
We know who the real star of this show was. Guys, we'll send it back to you. We'll see you right after the game.
All right, Jenny, thank you. It's Gonzalez Germain's second inning of work. And A.J. Schugel, with all the arms used last night and a 5-run cushion for Clint Hurdle, is going to get to swing the bat here in the 9th inning. You know, Clint, when he was managing the Rockies, he's the all-time wins leader. Head of Don Baylor. Schugel pops it up. Lived geographically, I'm sure, very close to the Schugel family. And AJ in his homecoming getting the pitch. He goes, hey, kid, go swing the bat also, huh?
Well, they're doing like the Rockies are. They're carrying 13 pitchers, only four extras. So they need that after the game they had yesterday. Clint Hurdle's 6th season in a Pirates uniform.
You know, when I wrote that down in my notes today, I did a double take. I said, wow.
Yeah, 6.
Hey, time flies, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Listen, Clint has won 440 games in a Pirate uniform. Among active managers, Clint has 974 victories, which is 6th active.
Last year, Pittsburgh won 98 games, 98-64. Only good enough for a wild card.
Wild cards now are tension-filled games.
Yes,
Just one of them,
are.
man. I love the 7th game feel. I'm torn a little bit because of the length of the major league season, and for me, I'm talking about when you do enough to get to the postseason in baseball. It's not like the NBA or the NHL where they're taking everybody, seemingly. You deserve to play more than a game. It's crushing to get there, and then one game you're out. Maybe even make it a mini series, 2 out of 3. I understand the problems if the season starts leaking deep into November. Reynolds flips it to Germain, 2 outs.
Yeah, but when you have 98-64 and it all hinges on 9 innings, and the team that finished ahead of you in the division, they won 100 ball games. I mean, 98 would have, that was the 2nd best overall mark in all of baseball last year.
That Central was tough last year. 3 teams: the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Pirates. 3 straight years the Pirates in the postseason. Had been in the postseason since the last 3 division titles in the NL East, 90, 91, 92, and Bonds and Bonilla were playing for Jim Leland. They had Andy Van Slyke,
Mike LaValliere.
I think of the other 3 guys in front of
I'm just going through that. I'm just going through that lineup, though.
Well, that was back in your
Sid
playing
Bream.
days. Yeah, Sid Bream.
Jay Bell was at shortstop. Jose Lean at second base.
Jose Lean. One and one on Matt Joyce. Look how tough it's going to be again this year in that Central.
Oh.
St. Louis is, they're St. Louis. You know they'll be there in the end somehow, some way. And the Cubs predicted to do well, and boy, are they ever living up to the preseason hype right now.
Just because you win 100 ball games does not mean you're going to win the World Series. The last team to win over 100+ games in the National League and win the World Series, the '86 Mets.
Won 108 that year. And the '86 Mets almost didn't win the World Series that year. Almost didn't beat the Houston Astros.
There have been 15 teams that have won 100+ games in the National League since then, including the Cards of last year.
Well, the prime example, a team you played for late in your career, the Seattle Mariners won 116.
That's
116. I mean, they knocked off 100 in August, probably. Won 116. They didn't go anywhere.
Last 16 victories.
3-2, strike 3. Well, you know what? Lance Barrett's going to have to ice down that left shoulder. Punched the air so many times tonight. Rockies down 5 going to the bottom of the ninth. And Pirates. The Pirates have won 5 consecutive games at Coors Field against the Rockies. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. The pitching matchup tomorrow evening. The ace of the Pirates, Garrett Cole, against Jorge De La Rosa. Jorge was pushed back from his scheduled start today. Stomach flu the last couple of days. Feeling much better yesterday. Starting to get his strength back. So Jorge will take the baseball for the Rockies tomorrow night. Christian Adames with his second at bat. Christian had a base hit when he pinch hit in the 7th and stayed in the ball game at short. One ball and 1 strike. Parra on deck, and then the Rockies probably go with Brandon Barnes. Could go Tony Walters. The only 2 players left on the bench for Tommy Runnels, who's running the club. Walt Weiss was thrown out in the 4th inning for arguing balls and strikes, and then Ryan Rayburn in the 6th inning.
It looks like it will be Brandon Barnes on the top step now. Just grabbed the helmet, got the bat. He's batting gloves on.
Left center field. Marte, 1 out. Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special, and the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Chad Bettis started tonight for the Rockies, pitched very well. 114 pitches, a career high, 6 2/3. Gave up 6 runs. Gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He got painted up though. Scott Oberg came in, gave up a 3-run home run. Unfortunately, the Rockies could never figure out Jeff Locke. 6 shutout innings for Locke. 5 hits, 2 walks, and taking advantage of an enormous strike zone east and west. He struck out 8-5 backward Ks.
That reminded me of the old Maddox days. get that extra You just keep setting further and further off the dish.
Yep. And I remember some people making the argument back then, Huey, you had to face him. Well, you know, if he can throw it there, he ought to be rewarded. No, it's not a strike.
It's not a strike.
It's because you can throw the ball
in the
consistently.
other batter's box.
You know, that's a base hit. Parra's second in the night, 6th in the last 2 ball games. The Rockies have not hit a ball out tonight. They didn't hit a ball out on Sunday. They didn't hit a ball out on Saturday. Most unusual for this club this year, and in most years anywhere, but particularly at home.
Well, the Rockies are second in the National League at home runs at 28. Arizona has 29. It will be Brandon Barnes pinch hitting for Germain.
Barnes has been locked in offensively. Two and out. Just in case, Clint Hurdle has his closer up. Another guy with Colorado ties from Golden High School, Mark Melanson. Well, I love making mention of that. Shows people how strong Colorado baseball's become on the amateur level. 2 balls and a strike.
Doesn't get the recognition it deserves.
Nope. So we'll try to give it some.
Yes, we will.
Two and two.
Again, just
that's ridiculous.
Just more barking.
It's low. Get out. Stay fair. Foul ball.
Just for a moment, Brandon thought he had it, taking out some frustration. And then realized it was hooking too much.
Hits are even tonight at 9. The runs are not. 6-1 Pittsburgh. 1 out in the 9th. Look out.
Wow.
Fortunately, that hit the corner of the dugout.
Robbie, the sideline reporter for Root Sports Pittsburgh. Well, doesn't do any good to say anything. You'll just get fined and you have to write a check. Brandon knows better than to say anything. Be interesting to, I mean, we won't be privy to the report that Lance Barrett will get tomorrow from Major League Baseball. They get a report after every game the next day. We have about their balls and strike and their percentage.
Fargo hits it on the ground to first, and that's the ball game. Disappointing start to this series for the Rockies. They fall 6-1 to Pittsburgh. The Pirates improved to 11-9. The Rockies fall under 500 at 9-10. Locke gets his first victory of the year. Chad Bettis takes the loss. Chad falls to 2-1. 6-1 is the final. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Jeff Locke pitched on the edges, and he was rewarded for it. He really had good command, and the Rockies hit about 1 ball hard off of in his 6 innings. And he had a 7+ ERA coming in. So Jeff Locke, 6 shutout innings. The Jimmy John's delivery of the game. To center field we go. Here's Jenny and the gang.
Thanks so much. Coors Field has not been very sweet to the Rockies since they've been home 4-6 right now at Coors Field. We'll break down this one coming up on the Toyota Postgame Show.